Hey you guys, welcome back to another video. A lot of you guys don't know, I just moved into my first official place. So as y'all can tell by the title, this is what this video is going to be about, okay? I'm going to give you guys, break everything down on how to get your first place at 18. Further ado, let's get right into this video. I'm gonna put my glasses on because this is an educational video, okay? And we're gonna get right into this video. And I got my MacBook, I know, impressive. And I'm just gonna be reading off the list because I did make a list of everything that I had to go through. I kind of want to make a whole playlist for apartment, just everything you need to know, everything that I had to learn to get my own apartment. So I kind of want to make a playlist to help you guys out too. How to move out at the age 18 and everything you need to know to move out on your own or with your significant other, but you already know. The first thing we're going to start with is before you even start looking for a place. So the first thing I put down is job span. A lot of apartments want to make sure you're consistent with working. So a lot of apartments look for they want 3 months of pay stubs, a month of pay stubs. So I do recommend having a job for 6 months before even trying to apply for an apartment, because they do look at that. They look at your job history and if you're reliable and keeping a job and stuff like that. Because I applied for multiple places. I did apply for a place. My first place I applied to, they denied me because they didn't think I was consistent in my jobs, and they wanted me to have a co-signer to see if I was even eligible, which, it's a long story. But make sure that you're at a job for a long period of time so it shows that you can keep a job, okay? Make sure that job that you're currently at, you're making 3 times as much the rent that you're planning on paying for, because if you are, they should approve you. But make sure you're still financially stable to pay rent plus all your other bills that you have before moving into an apartment, such as phone, if you have your car, car insurance, such as that, okay? Number 2 is learn to budget. So before even trying to look for a place, you got to already know how to budget the bills that you already got. So there's a whole bunch of things that I use to budget. I switch here and there. I'm gonna link everything that I've used before down in the description so you can go check those out. I've used things such as a planner, a budget binder, digital planning, money management. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can find. Amazon has really good planners, monthly breakdown sheets, everything. It's all gonna be in the description. I'm gonna put the Amazon stuff that I bought in the description. But there's a lot of things that you can use to manage your money and manage your paychecks. Getting an apartment is a very big responsibility because it's going to show up if you get evicted or if you can't pay your stuff, And that large lump sum of money, you got to make sure you're able to afford that, plus everything that comes into having an apartment. You got everything ready. Now what you want to do is start saving 3 months in advance on how much the max you're going to pay for rent. So I moved in April. So I started saving in January. I was saving what I was going to be paying for rent. So my max for rent was going to be $800 if I was going by myself. So I would be taking little lump sums of each paycheck and putting it towards a savings for my apartment. So I had the prorate, the first month's rent, such as things and stuff to get the apartment. If you're 18, you don't have a lot of credit history. So a lot of places don't like to rent to 18-year-olds because you guys don't have credit history. So make sure that if you have a credit card or you have a card note, that is showing that you're paying that consistently and on time, because they do look at that when running your background to make sure that you could pay your stuff on time. So make sure you don't have any bad credit history already at 18, or it's going to be hard. You're going to need a cosigner. And even with having a cosigner, you're probably not guaranteed to get a place either. It's a better chance, but you're probably not guaranteed to get the place. And it's really hard to find a co-signer when you're doing it by yourself, just so you know. Because I don't have a co-signer, so I had to get a place that's going to approve me without having a co-signer. Now, since we got into everything about what you need to do before you start looking to place, now we're going to go into details on how to look for an apartment. So the first thing you got to ask yourself is, are you living by yourself or are you living with other people? Are you getting a roommate? Are you living with your significant other? Like, how is it going to go? Like, what's your plans? What do you want in an apartment? So like, for an example, for me, do I want a 1 or 2 bedroom? I want a 2 bedroom because I do stuff on the side, YouTube, my business, all sorts of stuff. So I did want a 2 bedroom. Then you got to think about the location. Where do you want your place to be located? Like, what side of town, which neighborhood, like everything like that. Where do you want your apartment to be located that's best for you? For me, I wanted to be where my job was at, where everything was close by, because, you know, gas prices went up. You just want to think about everything. Is everything walking distance? You have to drive 15 minutes to get somewhere. Like, you just got to think about that location. Think about your max budget of the apartment. My max was $800. Obviously, luckily I found a place, 2 bedroom, that was less than that. But you got to figure out a max. How much are you willing to spend on a place per month? How much can you afford? Stuff like that. So if you're living with your significant other or with a friend, obviously you break that rent in half. But if you're living by yourself, you have to pay that full rent. Then you want to think about transportation, you know, how far everything is, how much gas you're going to be using. Utilities is a big one. When you're looking for apartments, my best thing is try to find apartments that you don't have to pay for water, because nobody wants to pay for water. So apparently I got lucky. I got an apartment that you only pay for electricity. You do not pay for water or nothing else, just pay for electricity and rent. So that's, you know, you got to make sure that with the rent, on top of rent, utilities, because you're going to have to pay utilities. Another thing is lease. Are you trying to do a 1 year, month to month, half a year? You got to look at the details of all the apartments that you're looking into. And so for some places that, like for me, I have a 1 year lease. Other places do half year or do month to month. It really depends on what you want to do. Now, here are some places or some websites that you can look at for looking at apartments. So you guys can see, if you just search up apartments.com, we're gonna do Atlanta, GA, okay? So on apartments.com, what I like to do on here, this is where I found my apartment. What I like to do is, you know, put your requirements. What do you look for in an apartment, townhouse, stuff like that, and then your price range. So that's one way to look. You can also go to Zillow, which is another good one, and you just put in your information there. They help you find rentals as well. Or another place is Craigslist. Now Craigslist it's sketchy, but there's apartments on there as well. So like, all you have to do for here is you just put in what you look for. You go to housing and you go to apartments. So Craigslist is like my last resort, but apartments.com is the way to go. Another thing you can do is drive around the neighborhood you're looking at. And sometimes, like on the apartment complex, there's either the phone number, the office usually has like applications, or there's like yard signs that tell you that they're looking for, you know, renters, and to have their phone number or their website, so you can go look at the pictures and set up a tour. How to apply for an apartment. Always take a tour of the apartment before you send your application, okay? Like, the tours are free. All you gotta do is message them that you want a tour, and they'll give you a tour. Never put in an application fee without taking a tour of the apartment. Like, never do it, okay? Always look at details. Like, I'm telling you, look at every cranny, look at everything, okay? You want to see how the water's on it. You just want to look at everything. Look under the cabinets, look in the cabinets, look everywhere, because you just need to know before you move in or sign a 1 year lease and it's not what you want. Well, after you did do some searching, you look at multiple apartments, you took multiple apartment tours, then you want to put in an application fee. Now, I heard that a lot of different cities pay a lot for an application fee. I only paid $25, so it wasn't bad at all, and I got approved for it. But the application fee is per person that's trying to move in with you. So if you're moving in with someone else, you guys both have to pay the application fee. The application process was not hard at all. Just make sure you look at the reviews, look at the area, look at the neighborhood, just look at the surrounding of the environment of the apartment that you're looking at. Then you want to figure out a move-in date. Usually they try to have you move in within the middle of the month, because then you have to pay a prorated amount plus the first month's rent, and the security deposit. So you pay the application fee, prorate, first month, and the security deposit. So just remember that. That's why I told you to make sure you save up 3 months in advance so you have all that money. The down deposit, or the security deposit, is your first month's rent. But if you do get approved, you don't pay the first. You pay like I only paid $200 for my security deposit because I got approved. But just remember that the security deposit is usually first month's rent. Then you pay first month's rent on top of that. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, you're supposed to get that money back if you leave the apartment in good condition. A lot of people don't get it back, but that's what that security deposit is for. Is so if anything that you do is damaging the place, they have that security deposit to fix up the apartment. Now, when you are filling out an application, make sure you read through the whole lease. Like, you read everything. You read about the pets, you read about everything, because you don't want to make sure you sign something and then like you're screwing yourself over. So make sure you read that lease agreement before you signing it and putting in that move-in date, because that move-in date determines your prorate and everything else before that. Okay, now when you are approved, this is the last step. When you are approved, take another tour of your apartment and make sure you take pictures of everything that is damaged, that looks broken, that has flaws. Because if that stuff was there when you moved in, and then when you move out, they take a look at everything and then they might not give you your security deposit back. So you have proof that the shit was damaged when you got in, okay? So when it comes to your utilities, you're gonna have to actually fill those out before or the day you move in, okay? Like, you have to apply for the company that you're with. So mine is Alliant Energy. I had to sign up for an account, make an account, put in my address, everything like that, just so I pay for electricity. You also do sometimes have to pay renter's insurance. I know I had to pay. I just paid full amount. It's super affordable, but that's something that you have to read in the lease. Then when you do move in, that's when you do have to pay your prorate and you have to pay your first month's rent. You can always pay ahead of time. Some companies, like property companies, they have an app where you can pay your bills, or you can do cash orders, money orders, and you just take them to the drop box. It really depends on which property company you're going with, how your apartment functions. Just always ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. But now with all the money that you saved up, you can either put it towards another month of rent, or you can split it and get stuff for groceries, get stuff for, apartment shopping, get decor, everything like that. I am making another video on places to get furniture and accessories for your apartment, so stay tuned to that video as well. You continue to budget and you're never late on rent, because that would look very bad on you because you are young and you just got your first place. Hopefully I covered everything on how to get your first place and everything that you need to know before moving to your first apartment. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was very educational to some people trying to move out at the age of 18, or even, with no renter's insurance, or not renter's insurance, renter's history. So yeah, that's it for this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you're notified whenever I post. And I think this is it for this video, and I hope you guys enjoy. Bye.